If you are disabled and unable to work, you may be entitled to Social Security benefits. And if you have been paying taxes, then you have earned your benefits. Call the lawyers at O'Malley & Langen, representing Social Security claimants for a quarter of a century.
Welcome back to You Be the Judge. Natalie, before we left, we were just beginning to talk about the economic impact the trail has had and also running has had on our community. Share that with our viewers, if you would.
It's a tremendous driver, not only because it's a great amenity that attracts businesses. We have the Chamber of Commerce and Northeast Pennsylvania Alliance that recognize when they're recruiting businesses to the area that it's important for these businesses to bring their employees to a good place to live. But we did, Lackawanna Heritage Valley did a trail user survey in 2009, 5 years ago, that showed a $28 million impact in that year from the trail. We did encounter surveys, and we're going to do another one this year. $28 million, and that was before the Riverwalk was even open. So we have about 8 additional miles of trail now, more than we had then, and people are aware of it. And they come and they go for breakfast or they go for lunch. And just when we first started our annual bike tour, our Heritage Explorer bike tour, which will be on June 14th this year, we just in our office, a small staff went around and figured out how much we had spent to participate in the bike tour. And I personally realized that by the time I bought a bike, sneakers, the bike gear, helmet, it was close to $1,000. So that's just one person. But what we're seeing is people are making traditions now. They run on the trail, they go for lunch afterwards, they buy their running shoes at Scranton Running Company and their running gear, and it's good for everybody. It's a huge economic impact, and I suspect this time it won't be 28 million, it'll be multiples of that.
That's fantastic. And Matt, Scranton Running Company, you started how many years ago?
3.5 years ago, August 2010. Yep.
Is it growing?
It is growing, yeah, along with the running community in the area. We seem to be riding the wave, yep.
What all type of gear do you have down there, and what?
Yeah, for the walker, the runner, the beginner, if you're just walking the dog or running a marathon, anything in between, we have it as well. So just finding the right fit. It's all about trying to figure out how your foot rolls and make sure the shoe is designed for your specific foot type. We try to design it that way. We have physical therapists on staff. We have a pretty knowledgeable staff, so we're pretty proud of our people.
So if I come down there to find out how I can become a marathoner, you'll set me up with
We're going to put you right on the treadmill.
Okay.
We're going to film your foot strike. We're going to see how your foot rolls, and we're going to get you in the perfect shoe. That's how we do it. Yeah. So
that's terrific. That really is.
So we'll see what happens.
And Natalie, you are pretty proud of the fact that this half marathon, is going to be running on your trail.
Absolutely.
Matt, would you share with us how the course runs and where it starts?
Where it's going?
And where it ends?
Absolutely. Start and finish at Memorial Stadium. So we head into to North Scranton and the Green Ridge first, right up Providence Avenue into Main Street, down Green Ridge. So we're going to get a few hills in the first couple miles. As we go into Green Ridge, make a left on Sanderson Avenue, go right through the Green Ridge corners.
So you'll go out.
Yeah.
And up through North Scranton.
Yes. Yeah.
Main Avenue.
Main Avenue, and make the right on Green Ridge.
Okay.
So we'll do a little dip there as we go down, and then back up the hill to Sanderson.
And then down to Sanderson Avenue and across to the.
Across right into Green Ridge corners.
Okay.
And then we'll do a little. We need the distance, so we'll have to go into the Platte, which is pretty neat. I like that little neighborhood back there. And then we'll come back out.
And of course, you'll be along the river there as you get down there.
The river
Platte
seems to be kind of all over this course, at least in the very beginning and the whole second half. Yeah. So that's another reason it made so much sense. So and then we'll come out of there and we'll go right up Electric Street through the circle, which kind of parallels the Steamtown Marathon course for a little bit. And then we'll get it all the way up to North Washington and make a right and pick up North Washington will take us all the way into town where we go up past Cooper's, and then we'll take Adams Avenue into town where we make a right on Spruce Street, go right by Courthouse Square, all the way down to Penn Avenue, over to Lackawanna. Nice little loop through downtown Scranton and then into Southside. So touching on North Scranton, downtown, and then South Scranton, staying in the valley as much as possible so we don't have to go up too many hills.
And where do you pick up the trail?
On Elm Street, when we finally, off of Cedar Avenue, we'll make a right onto Elm, and then as we cross over South Washington Avenue, behind the shopping centers down there, we'll take a left on the trailhead on Elm Street
And head towards?
We'll head left, we'll head south, yes.
Towards Taylor?
Towards Taylor, and
Okay.
Almost to the end where it's at now, where the native...
We have a wonderful sculpture of a Native American
Yeah.
Indian chief.
Wow.
It's thematic down there, a lot of Native American history. And there's a spur that goes off the main trail where that beautiful sculpture is, and I guess the course
We'll be
will
utilizing that
use
spur,
that
yeah.
spur and then head back up
We'll come back the same
toward
way.
Vine Street, or
Yeah.
toward Olive Street. Yeah.
Yep, and we'll come back the same way and all the way to Olive Street.
And your course runs about half in the city and half on the trail?
Give or take, it's almost right down the middle, half through the town and half along the river. So yeah, it's a nice split.
You're pretty excited about this,
I
aren't
am.
you?
I am. I'm really proud of the community to see how they've reacted to such an event. So it's really to see the local community rally behind it.
You know, I can remember the first Steamtown Marathon. I can remember my good friend, who's now the superintendent of schools in Scranton, Bill King, who was very active, and that group, and wondered, you know, will Scranton ever support a marathon? It's just going to be one and done.
Right.
And look at where that has gone.
You're not kidding. Yep.
And I expect that this will probably have the same annual appeal.
It feels like it. I hope you're right. You know, like you said, it's been a neat to see the response out of the local community. Whereas Steamtown gets a lot of people from all over the country. We're getting, at least this year, the local community is really taken to it. So I'm excited.
We come back, I want to have a few closing thoughts with both of you, so please stay tuned to You Be the Judge. Hi, I'm Todd O'Malley from the law offices of O'Malley and Langen. If I say the word tragedy, what do you think? Hurricanes, flooding, devastation on a huge scale. I'll bet not one of you thought work injury. And that's a problem in our society. Just because something happens one person at a time doesn't make it any less significant. Over 3.5 million people are injured or killed on the job every year, each an individual tragedy. If you've been hurt at work, your job, your family, your health, even your future could be at risk. Call O'Malley and Langen. You'll find there's a light at the end of the tunnel. We'll review your case, find that glimmer of hope, and fight back. If you're facing crippling medical bills, or they're forcing you back to work too soon, call O'Malley and Langen 24/7. Nights and weekends, one of our lawyers will answer the phone. Call 1-800-817-COMP. That's 1-800-817-2667. Welcome back to You Be the Judge. You know, Natalie, when you look at the Scranton Half Marathon, you look at what's happening at the trail, you look at a young fellow like Matt, and you say, things are really happening in Scranton. This is, we just talked at the break about Art Russo and Charlie Jefferson and their commitment to building apartments downtown and the businesses that are springing up. Everybody wants to talk about the bad things in Scranton, and they overlook what's happening.
There's so many good things happening, Todd, and we've been friends for a long time, and now it's this wonderful new generation that are our children that are coming back when we're lucky and deciding to open businesses or practice their profession. It's so exciting to me because there's so much going on. And that's what the Lackawanna Heritage Valley emphasizes, our sense of pride and our sense of place. And events like this half marathon call attention to the city, the beautiful architecture in the city, and the activities that will attract these young people to live in the downtown. So these young people that used to go live in New York and Philadelphia, or even if they have done it, they come back here, and now they have an opportunity to really have city living downtown. And there's waiting lists for apartments. As you said, in the new ski area, the renovated Montage Mountain, it's fabulous. But people like Matt Byrne, as you mentioned before, Michelle Dempsey, who came back to start her own architectural firm, and many of these young entrepreneurs are making the city new again.
And Michelle is working here, but also in Las Vegas, Atlantic City, just absolutely
and
terrific.
Matt has a store in Brooklyn, so they have the Brooklyn Running Company now. It's an
Wow.
offshoot of the Scranton Running Company. It's not Brooklyn coming to Scranton, it's Scranton going to Brooklyn.
That's awesome. I mean, there's just so many opportunities.
Yeah.
And you know, when you look at First Fridays, wonderful opportunity to get down and visit the businesses in Scranton and see some art and travel from place to place and see friends. But then this spring, tell me what's going on.
Well, our big event in the spring, in addition to this new wonderful marathon, we're having for the 5th year our Heritage Explorer bike tour,
I was at it last
and
year.
I'm proud of you. That's the upper part of the trail, starting in Blakely Borough Park and going all the way up to the Stillwater Dam. So people that just want to do fun ride can do a 5-mile round trip, 5, 11, 22, or 44. And as Matt said in the beginning, that was all local people. We have now groups of people coming from Binghamton, from all over the state. And that's our second big event. But, we have in the summertime, we have our Heritage Explorer train ride to Carbondale. And there are just so many things going on.
There's the kayaking down the river, the
River Fest.
River Fest, which I think is fantastic.
Fun.
It really, really is. So.
And all these partners are working together. The Everhart Museum is doing an exhibit on sharks later this year, and we just had a meeting of partners the other day, and Bernie McGurl from Lackawanna River Corridor, who runs the River Fest, says we have to have some floats with sharks on them in the river. So
Bernie has done a fantastic
Yes.
job for this community as well. I mean, you and he have made that river really something special.
Thank you.
And I think, Matt, you and your partner will be doing likewise with this great half marathon. I want to thank both of you for being here. I want to thank both of you for your commitment to the community. And I want to thank you for watching this week on You Be the Judge.
Have you been denied Social Security benefits? You can appeal. If you are disabled and if you have been paying taxes, you've earned your rights to your Social Security benefits. Call O'Malley and Langen. And remember, we don't get paid unless you win.